This is a TMP tale about a first-generation student's journey to overcome the everyday personal plateaus of life and wisdom. So you graduated high school and you've got your diploma, or maybe you've got your GED, but it doesn't really matter because education is education. And either way, you have successfully managed to conquer that national regulator of freedom that has formerly been known as secondary education. So after a strong week of celebrations, appreciations, and congratulations, you finally come to a moment of relaxation. And it feels awesome. Before long, you realize that it's been quite some time since you last interacted with the outside world. Affair that stems back to the fact that the only reason you've ever had to leave your house was to uphold the unspoken and unwritten contract between you and your teachers that essentially states you're obligated to update them with the latest
I didn't do my homework last night because I had to wait for my nails to dry.
excuse. As you finally get over this fear, you decide that it is once again time to venture into the big cold world. And in that journey, you come across a couple of things you wouldn't mind having. In fact, it's more like things you gotta have. But there's something standing in your way. Money! So what's the next logical step? You go and find yourself a job. A pair of flashy shoes and sunglasses aren't the only things you're trying to buy. You're at a point in life where you feel it's time for you to move out and spread your own wings. And a regular minimum wage job probably isn't the most effective way to go about achieving this goal. So when you go to apply for that salary job at the bank, you face yet another startling reality. The bank is telling you that you need to have a business degree. It would appear that your arch nemesis, secondary education, had a sibling, post-secondary education, that has sworn an oath to avenge its long-lost sibling, the same one that you personally had eliminated. The fact that you're the type to never back down from a challenge only meant one thing: that it is time to suit up and combat this newly equipped rival known as post-secondary. So you visit ouac.on.ca to apply for university. Or maybe you visited ontariocolleges.ca to apply for college. Either way, it doesn't matter. The point is, you need to visit these websites in order to register for post-secondary education in Ontario. As you go through the application, you recall sitting in on an educational workshop where the facilitator mentioned that you need to have at least a 75% average in your top 6 U or M courses to get into university, or at least a 75% average in your top 6 C courses to enter college. Fortunately, you passed up on 2, maybe 3 Friday night engagements, which ultimately led you to achieving an overall average of 76 in your top 6 mixed courses, which means that you're eligible to access both university and college. Now, university has never been the cheapest investment, and OSAP isn't always in your favor, and personal savings have only gone so far. But with a little ingenuity, these things don't remain obstacles for long. You decide to enroll into a 3-year college diploma program. Life has a way of taking you places you never would have imagined. And with that being said, you experience some sort of epiphany and decide that instead of completing the 3-year diploma program, you'll instead complete 2-year, get your certificate, and then transfer into a 4-year program in university. But instead of having to complete all 4 years, you only have to complete 3 because your previous college experience was transferable. Not only do you have a certificate, but now you also have a degree. And thanks to that internship you completed within your years of study, you now already have experience as well as a job. So those shoes and sunglasses you wanted, no problem. As a matter of fact, throw in a gym membership and an all-inclusive trip. You've earned it. This is just one of the many stories about navigating through post-secondary. Make sure to thoroughly plan what it is you want to do, and more importantly, why you're doing it. It might be helpful to list all of your potential and required resources. Take a look at these ones.